Welcome to Adrienne Ross Squared, squaring off from A to Z. We're going to get into a topic I would really rather not have to talk about today. Actually, the overall topic is a good one, but the reason I'm talking about it is not. So many of you who follow me over on the Adrienne Ross Show on YouTube, you know that I've been dealing with this whole TikTok impersonation situation. And the latest from this person is just unreal. And so I can see that the steps that I've taken to try to get this thing to stop have not worked yet. And so I had to get in touch with a lawyer. So this person is leaving a trail though. So it's not going to be good once I can get this thing going legally. But that leads me to where I am right now in this conversation with you, because it made me think about how society has so drastically changed. Some of you watching this are younger than I am. Some of you are older than I am. And for those who are really young, you might not believe the older people when we say that there was a time when parents taught their children what it was to work hard, what it was to do so with integrity, what it was not to take from other people, but to establish your own. There's even that song, an old song, right? Papa may have, mama may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. Billie Holiday, classic. And if you are young and 20s and younger, and your parents have instilled that in you, you don't even know, or maybe you do, how blessed you are, because we're living in a culture right now where people feel like, I don't have to establish my own. I can just wait. This is what I'm dealing with. I can just wait, see what other people do, rip off what they have done, and that will be the extent of my footprint on the earth. I'm missing the times when people said, I know this is what you have, but this is what I have. For example, there are people who are fortunate enough that they're raised in a family that has a family business. Grandpa was an electrician and dad was an electrician, and they wanted to create something that I can say I like it's me, but by anybody, their child could then step into, their grandchild could then step into, their great grandchild could then step into and continue that. Then you have that person who says, I know that we come from a family of electricians, but I'm thinking that I have a gift or I have an interest over here. I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a plumber, or I want to, whatever. I want to be a travel agent. Doesn't matter. But you always find there'll be those people who say, I know that this is, but they'll say, but honey, we've got this set up for you. You can step right in and we've laid the foundation. And they say, I appreciate that. I appreciate all you do and have done for me. I appreciate what you're continuing to do. It's honorable, but I want to do this because I want to do my thing. I want to establish, I feel that this is my purpose. And those people not rejected, but stepped away and said, no, I'm going to do this because this is what I feel like doing. And the family's like, you know what? We're proud of you. Now, this is how this whole TikTok thing comes in, because now we got a TikTok situation, a social media situation, not just TikTok, but TikTok is an example that people no longer, so many people no longer care about what is my purpose? What is it that I can add to the world that I'm living in? Like, why is it okay for anybody to say, I'm going to take, I see this person, this Adrienne Ross show, and she's worked hard and she's got people who like her content and it's growing. And so instead of me doing the same thing, this person would be thinking, I'll just take what she's done and then use it to dupe people, take all the time to pick apart what she has done, and then I'll post it somewhere where people think it's her, and that's why they're drawn to her, to that, not drawn to that imposter. to the impersonator. They're drawn to that person whose work they respect. And so I'm going to capitalize off of that. And then I'll have enough of a following. And then I'm going to make money from that. People are going to donate to that. And I'm just going to scam my way through life. I would be totally embarrassed, because for me, that's not, no matter what, how far I get before I get caught, no matter how much money I make before I get caught, it's still not my stamp on life. It's still not my talents and my skills. And be sure, as the Bible says, your sin will find you out. You will reap what you sow. So as annoying as this is to me, I understand that there will be repercussions. There will be consequences to this whole thing, because it comes back and it gets you. You will reap what you sow, and you will reap what you sow from messing with what I've done. Mark that down. That's the case. That's going to happen in some way. But besides all that, for me, it's like the pride, and I don't mean the bad pride, the hubris, but I mean the self-respect and dignity of wanting to establish my own. So no matter how far this person may get before getting caught, it's still not the farthest that person could get if that person said, hey, I'm going to be a person of integrity, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to create for myself, because the sky is the limit for me. Not for what somebody, not pretending to be someone else, but the sky is the limit for me. So I want to see us have a society, a culture, families that instill upon their children the value of hard work, the value of integrity, the value of faith, and with faith and hard work, being able to do and to create, to innovate, all the things that come with people who work hard and have integrity. When we were young, like many of us, we were expected to contribute to the household. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about from a young age, before you had any opportunity to make money. You're going to wash the dishes, and you're going to cut the grass, and you're going to dust, and you're going to vacuum, because we're in this together as a family. And this is teaching you how to then be successful. Yes, you're going to go to school and you're going to study. Why? So that you can be successful and create a life for yourself, and not just have to mooch off of other people. But right now, there's a lot of mooching, and I'm just one person. I looked online, lots of people are going through this. And this isn't just about the TikTok, but it has it front and center in my mind, because it's such an obvious example of how young people have either been failed or have been taught right, but said, I'm going to veer and I'm going to do my own thing, even if it's diabolical, even if it's theft, even if it's criminal. Like what's going on with me is not just a violation of TikTok's policies. It is illegal. But we have people who are so lazy and have no sense of values or self-worth, really, because what person of self-worth wants to pretend to be somebody else? But these people are so lazy that they cannot tap into what perhaps they could do. And they're so willing that it's illegal. I could be in serious trouble, but I'll take it as far as I can take it before then, because I'm too lazy and too lacking in self-worth to do anything for myself. It's really sad. And as many of you know, I taught for nearly 20 years in New York, and I love to teach. My students loved me. I loved my students, had great relationships with them. But I couldn't help but notice, as years went on, there was just less accountability. And now when you introduce the social media into the mix, it becomes even more where I'd rather just be on my phone, or I'd rather be on TikTok, and I'd rather look at YouTube and see what someone else has done. So then I cannot say, oh, I find inspiration in that, let me create my own. But no, let me just steal it Let me do that. That's where you could see the progression, even as a teacher, even the self-responsibility, right? You come into class, you don't have a pen, you don't have a pencil, you go to the teacher, can you give me? Can you give me? Can you give me? And I reached a point late in my career, and I said, you know what? And I made this plain to the parents first day. Your child is expected to come with what your child needs. Now, there are financial reasons and things like that, then there's a reason, there's a way to help in our school system, right? If you need notebooks or you need pens and stuff, we can work with that. But if you just being irresponsible, just being lazy, just being a moocher, that I can't deal with. That I can't work with. So if there's a financial issue, let's talk about that, and then we can get help there. But if it's just a lazy issue and just take from other people issue, and then if you're a teacher, you know exactly what this is like. All your pens are gone because they didn't even return them. And then the kid has the nerve to say, well, and you say, give my pen back. Why you have my pen? Well, it's just a pen. It's my pen. It's mine. And you need to learn to value what is someone else's. That's a whole other thing, right? You ever lend somebody something and they just destroy it because they don't value it? That's what happens when you don't work for certain things. You don't value them. And then you become an adult and you just take from other people. And it really is a sad state. So parents who have tried and their kids just haven't done what they're supposed to do, God bless you. I'm not hardly saying that parents have not, because kids go astray. But I am saying that the society, the culture is set up in such a way that people feel okay. And I mean, going to great lengths to steal my stuff. Like, I put the ticker over my face. This person, the last thing they did was spend time going through and putting black over the ticker that calls them out as an impersonator. Like, they have to go through and do that. They'd rather go through all that, or taking out what's behind me that shows that I'm calling them out. And they figure out how to do it. And they got to go through the whole video to do it. But they've got more interest in doing that and stealing from people and deceiving people than to establish their own. What could these people do if they worked hard, had integrity, believed in themselves, and didn't want to live like trash? I wrote a book, right here. I wrote 3 books, but this book, Push Your Way to Purpose: How to Get from Where You Are to Where You're Meant to Be. Everybody needs to read this book, young and old, because the people who don't work hard, who don't have any goals, who just no integrity, no hard work, but rather just try to suck the life from everyone else. They need to know that there is a purpose and there is a plan, because people who know that don't do the kind of stuff that I'm dealing with right now. Hard work, young folks and old folks, because it's never too late. Hard work, integrity, purpose changes everything. So that's just if you want to call it a rant, it's a rant. But I think beyond even my situation, just in general, work hard, believe, have faith in God, put hands to your faith. Faith without works is dead, and see how far you can go. The sky is really the limit when you have integrity. Without integrity, you're gonna crash. You might think you're getting away with some stuff, but you're not ultimately. Be the best that you can be. And it's going to take hard work, for real. All right. Please thumbs up this video if you would, and subscribe right here if you haven't done so. And if you are not subscribed to the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect, please do so. The link to the Adrienne Ross Show is in the description of this video. I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.